Hi, everybody. I am Cindy Lewis Caballero, and I am here with my partner, Sandy Orlando. We are your two co-race directors for the Endurance Event Productions race series. And as you all know, this coming Sunday is the Dynamic Funds Georgina Marathon and Half Marathon, which also includes a 10K and 5K. So we're here tonight to take you guys through your athlete guide, which hopefully you've all seen your email that's linked you to the athlete guide. And if you happen to miss that, you can go to the race roster page for the Georgina Marathon and Half Marathon, and linked right near the top, you'll see the athlete guide, which we need you to read cover to cover. The athlete guide will answer any question that you may have related to race day. So even if you think you have no questions, read through that athlete guide, because I bet as you're reading through it, you learn something that you didn't realize you didn't know.
Yeah, true. And so I guess first thing is we're doing this because we're so crazy busy that we don't want to have to worry about looking at emails or taking phone calls. So we want you to look here first if you can. And then if you can't get the answer, then email georginamarathon@gmail.com. So first and foremost, we would like to thank Dynamic Funds and all of our sponsors for being part of this event. Once again, they've been terrifically supportive. Also volunteers who are coming out, and volunteers who may still be convinced to come out, and we need you. And also all the spectators and your athletic supporters, everybody who supports us, right? We're truly grateful for that. So let's get started. Cindy, first of all, you're going to tell everybody about
Race kit pickup. So, if you're new to racing, I know this because I've had a few emails about what is your race kit. Your race kit is your bib number, your event T-shirt, and any sponsor swag that we might have. So everyone needs to pick up their race kit at some point before the event. You need your number, you need to have it on, or you can't be in the race. There are 4 opportunities for race kit pickup, 3 advance and 1 on race morning. The first one is tomorrow, Wednesday, September 4th, and that's in Burlington at Pro Body Wellness, 783 Brant Street, and that's from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. Thursday is your next opportunity in Toronto from 12 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., and that's at All Access Fitness. Saturday, September 7th, is your next opportunity, and that'll be the most fun. That'll be at the Race Expo that takes place from 12 to 6 p.m. at the Briars Resort and Spa in Georgina. So come out to that expo if you can. We'd love to see you there. Our sponsors, different vendors will be there set up. Lots of fun things to do, giveaways, people to see, lots of energy. We hope that you can come out to the expo. And again, that's at 12 to 6 at the Briars Resort and Spa. And then on Sunday, on race morning, if you absolutely have to, you can pick up your race kit on race morning. If you're going to do that, get there really, really early. The race starts at 7. There's going to be a lineup for race kit pickup. If you don't have VIP parking, which we'll talk about in a second, it means you have to park off site and take a shuttle in. So don't cut it close. Leave yourself a ton of time. Race kit pickup on race morning will start at 5 a.m. and it will go until 6:45. So again, it's going to end at 6:45. So make sure you're there early and you've got your race kit in hand by that time, or you won't be able to get it and you won't be able to race. And again, that's at the race start and finish line right at De La Salle Park, which hopefully you know where that is by now. That's at 1924 Metro Road North in Jackson's Point.
Let's make a point about the waivers. Waivers must be signed in order for you to race. Hopefully you've done it on your race roster account. We will have a limited number of printed off waivers for anybody who couldn't figure that out. But if you can go back onto your race, Cindy, how do you do that? Go on your race roster account and
log into your own race roster account. Everyone has one if you're registered for the race. Click on Georgina Marathon and Half Marathon that you're registered for. And then you'll see on there whether you've done the event participation waiver or not. If you registered yourself, you probably have. If someone else registered you, then you would have had to go in and do that manually. So make sure that you do take a look,
Mhm.
because if that's not done, you can't pick up your race kit.
Yeah.
The other thing about race kit pickup is if you can't make any of those advance kit pickup times, but you have friends that are going, they can pick up your race kit for you as long as you've done your waiver and you've sent them an email that gives them permission to pick up that race kit. So if you can't make it yourself, you can get a friend to pick that up for you.
Here's another request for everybody. If you're picking up for a group of people, please give us heads up so that we can take some time to put together some kits for you. It's kind of frustrating for people who are one guy behind you, and then the person in front is picking up 10 kits, and it just makes it go slower for everybody. So if you're doing that, please get in touch with us and let us know so that we can help make that process go faster for you.
Yeah. And so you can send us an email, georginamarathon@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Let us know in that email all the names of the people you're picking up for so we can have those packaged up and ready for you.
Right. Okay. So getting to Georgina, I mean, that's you've got everybody's got GPS maps, so I think that's um, pretty straightforward one. If you do not have a VIP parking pass, which means you purchased it long ago when the registration first opened because they sold out very quickly, you'll need to take a look at where the offsite parking places are to take the shuttle bus. We'll tell you a little bit more about that shortly. But so driving there, there is some transit, York Region Transit, Go Transit. I think you're gonna have to just take a look at those websites and figure out if that's going to work for you or not. Hopefully, carpooling or something will help you out with that as well.
Yeah, so like Sandy started to talk about there, parking, it's really important that you have a parking plan for this race. The parking lot right at the race start finish line is small. We pre-sold VIP parking for that. If you don't know what VIP parking is, or if you're like, oh, I want to get one of those, you can't. They've been sold out. You should not send us an email asking for one. You should just take a look at that athlete guide and the website at where those overflow lots are. They're free, and you'll be able to park there throughout race day, and you'll be able to take a shuttle anytime between 5 a.m. and 2 p.m. from those overflow lots to the race site. Lots of people have emailed asking, what's the schedule for those shuttle buses? The answer is they're going to circle between those lots and the park from 5 a.m. till 2. However long it takes them to do that loop is how long, that route's going to take. One of the routes is from the Briars Red Barn Theater lot to the park. That's a really short loop. It's only 2 kilometers, so you really could take a walk or take a warm-up jog along that and not even worry about the bus. But that one will have 2 shuttle buses running. The next one is going to be from the Sutton District High School to De La Salle Park, race start finish line. And there's going to be 4 buses cycling that route. So it's going to be pretty quick. There's going to be lots of buses. You're not going to have to wait very long. That being said, you will have to park off site. You will have to take a bus. Leave yourself lots of time. Don't be stressed race morning. Don't be late getting to your race. You've got enough to worry about just, making sure that you're fed, you're rested, and you're showing up to have the best race that you can on that day.
Yes, it's free for everybody. Yes, your spectators and your family and friends and dogs can go on that shuttle, so not to worry about that.
Yep.
If you need accessible parking, give us an email, but that we can make some accessible parking available to you. The other thing to know is if you have someone coming with you who can volunteer for us, then we do have a volunteer parking lot that can make it a little bit easier for everybody. You can carpool with them and get a little bit closer and not take the shuttle bus. Price to pay is they're volunteering.
If you did purchase a VIP parking spot, you should have gotten an email from us by now, and that email is what you need to show. When you arrive at that parking lot on race morning, you'll show that to the marshal. I know that there's a couple of you who have traded it off to somebody else or didn't get the email. Don't worry, you'll get it before race morning. There are a few of you, though, that I haven't quite gotten that sorted out just yet, but don't worry, you're on my list and I will get it sorted out for you. Race day schedule. You want to
Yeah.
start with that one, Sandy?
Race day schedule. I'm looking for that one. Here we go. I was going to talk first about when you get there on race day.
Okay.
So if you've already got your kit picked up, you don't need to get in line for anything. We do have portalettes. We have a bag check that you can get rid of your bag and have some dry clothes for later on. Probably it's going to be inside. And then we're going to encourage people to just come back outside. There's one small hall on the lot there that we'll use for our bag check. If you need information, there's an info booth with the volunteer pickup or check in. There's portable washrooms. We will have VeloFix has their coffee cart called the Fix on site so that you can get yourself a coffee or a pastry, or if your person who's with you is dying for coffee and you're not, they can get in line for that. And basically get the lay of the land, figure out, go for your jog, get yourself sorted out. But it's a fairly small park, and there is a map in the athlete guide that shows you where things are, so you can be prepared for that. So here we go, race day schedule. 5 o'clock, the site opens, and that's basically when people can start doing their race kit pickup. We'll probably be set up by then. We sure hope so. Hopefully we're not soggy because the weather is looking like it might, but we'll all survive it. We've all been wet before and didn't shrink.
The weather looks perfect for runners. For you and I that are hanging around all day
It
cheering
does.
people on. Might get a little bit chilly, but for a runner, 12 degrees is like,
Yeah,
you can't get any much better than that. So
right. And it changes so quickly anyway. I mean, we've all been there. It's fine. So 6:45 is when we'll be asking the marathoners to line up in the chute. We're going to ask that people who are looking for faster times get in the front of the chute. If you're looking for a slower time, please let the faster runners go ahead of you so that they're not getting bogged down. It's a little bit of a tight turn out of the race or out of the park on the start of the race. So we want to make sure that people who are looking for Boston qualifying times or podium times get an opportunity to have that clear space. 7:10, we will be asking, sorry, that's 7, the marathon and half marathon will be lining up. We'll let the marathoners go first and then the half marathoners go next. At 7:10, we'll have the 5 and the 10K start to line up. And we'll be letting that group go out in 2 different rounds, probably 7:20, 7:30, so that the course can be cleared enough for the next group to come along. And then the winners will start to come in. We'll be in the finish line area catching everybody and congratulating everyone. And awards presentations will happen about 9 o'clock for the 5 and 10K, depending on, we'll sort of wait and see how we're doing with our runners coming in. The half marathoners, half marathoners at about 9:45, and the marathon award presentation's about 11 o'clock. The course closes after 6 hours from the start of the marathon. So by 1 o'clock, the course closes, and the final shuttle bus leaves for the high school and for the Briars at 2 o'clock. Did I miss anything important in there?
no, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Just key to listen to the race announcer. So those awards times, like Sandy said, they're flexible, they're approximate. There are, best guess for a perfect day. But listen to Greg Nickel, who will be on the microphone. He'll let you know when the awards are going to start for each of those events.
And do hang around for the awards because we've got a selfie backdrop. You can take your picture. Teresa's going to be doing the announcing and handing out awards. And it's really important for people to celebrate each other for their accomplishments, but also if you are an award winner, you need to be on site to claim your award. So we're not in a position to be mailing things out afterwards. So please hang around and cheer for everybody. And on that note, hang around and cheer for people who are coming in later. The people who are running at the back of the pack on those marathons, they're putting in a lot of hours and they really appreciate the support. We're always there to catch the very last person who comes in, and it's a really big deal. We try to make it very important for them because they've put in many more hours than you may have, and it's a huge accomplishment for everybody. But it's a huge accomplishment for someone who's running 6 hours. So please hang around and make sure that you support each other.
Mm-hmm. Again, lots of emails coming in about how your family and friends can track you. They can track you. It's not GPS, so they're not going to see exactly where you are at any specific time. What it will be is on enfieldtiming.com, our timers website. Every time that you cross a timing mat, which is about every 5K, um, they'll get an update as to where you're at, what your average pace is, and they'll be able to track you that way and see when you finish that way. That being said, when there's thousands of people on any app at any given time, sometimes it might not be accurate at the moment, or it may fault in some way, shape, or form. So, if there's an issue with it, don't get stressed out. But that's where they should head if they want to take a look and see how you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're concerned about your runner, I guess we should mention that we have a lot of people on the course who are watching out for people. First of all, we have Odyssey medical team. They'll have a tent at the finish line for anyone who needs medical assistance. But we also have them on the course. We've got people on bikes. We've got bike marshals. We've got aid station managers. A lot of people who are out there watching to make sure people are okay, and that's the first priority. Also, all the other runners. I mean, look, if you see someone who's not doing well, speak up. Let someone know. Get them some help, because that's super important. A race is not as important as someone's health. And I think we all sort of are starting to understand that that's becoming something that's even more important these days, or an issue that we need to be watching out for.
Yep. So the actual race course is beautiful. You're going to run out and back on Lake Drive. Um, One thing that's important is we want to stay as much as we can in the northbound lane, or not northbound, the north side of the road, so the lake side of the road. It's a small cottage road. There are some access roads that can't exit without going on Lake Drive. So there'll be there might be a car coming every so often, although we'll have marshals directing them off the course as quickly as possible. Um, we want to keep you in on that north side of the road just to keep everybody happy, keep everything running smoothly, making sure people can get to and from their house. And also to make sure that if there should be an emergency on the course, whether it's part of the race or just on Lake Drive at one of the houses, an emergency vehicle needs to be able to access it. So they need to be able to go in the south lane of Lake Drive. So stay on that north side of the road as much as possible when you're running.
Yeah, and we'll have people out there reminding you, guiding you. Well, it's coned all the way along,
Mhm.
so they're not there for hurdles. They're there because we need to to keep everyone on that right side of the road.
Yep.
The
Um, Sorry, you have
aid
more?
stations. Shall we
Yep.
talk about aid stations?
Yep.
All right. So we do have aid stations about every 2.5 or 3 kilometers. They will be on both sides of that lane so that you'll have access to it in both directions. Water and Gatorade are at each of those aid stations, as well as an AED, which is what does the AED stand for? Arterial.
Automated external defibrillator,
Right.
I
Okay.
believe.
So that's, yeah. So that's part of the safety plan that we have there, and they're the type that anybody could use. It's basically it walks you through it, so anybody could use that if necessary. But we do have aid stations along there. We've got volunteers who will be handing out Gatorade and water at those stations. Please keep your garbage there, either chuck it while you're there or keep it on you until the next aid station. It's as Cindy said, it's a cottage community, and these people are really they're very careful about keeping everything clean. They'll complain when they find your gel wraps or your gel packages along the road. We do try to do a sweep afterwards and clean it up, but it's really hard to find a lot of gel wrappers when we've been working for 3 days straight. So please help us out and don't drop them. Put them into a garbage pail, and that way the residents will be happy with our having the race there, and we're not putting any of the wildlife in danger either.
Yep. For the marathoners and the marathoners only, there is a special aid station. We call it the self-serve aid station. What it is basically If you're in the marathon and you want to carry your own fuel instead of using Gatorade, for example, you can refill or take a second bottle from that self-serve aid station. So in the morning, what you're going to do is you're going to take anything you want to leave at that self-serve aid station. You're going to have it in a bag with your bib number. So make sure it's in a bag, okay? And make sure your bib number's on it. And you're going to place it on a table labeled self-serve pickup or a bin labeled self-serve pickup. That'll be somewhere near bag check. Um, and we are going to then take it to a table that will be placed just past the halfway point. So just after you make that turn to do your second loop, there'll be that self-serve aid station table, and that'll have all of the stuff that you marathoners have left for us in the morning. We'll lay it out on that table. Key to know is that you'll be responsible for finding it on that table. So make sure that, you know, make your bag pink or put a pink ribbon on it or something that's going to make it easy to see so that you don't have to stop and spend 5 minutes sorting through a bunch of stuff. You're going to grab it off that table yourself, take your fuel, deposit anything that's left over, any garbage in the garbage can, and away you go. So what that does is it just makes it easier than you having to carry 42.2 kilometers worth of your own fluid because you don't want to use what's on course. So you can leave, bottles there, gels there, bars there. You think you might need some gloves for the second loop. You can leave your gloves there. Whatever you want, as long as you've got it in your own labeled Ziploc or some sort of small space-saving bag.
Yeah. And we'll put them out in order of bibs so that it makes it a little bit easier to find. But it's a good idea to make it recognizable to yourself. And just keep in mind that we can't guarantee that those things are all going to come back and you're going to get them back again. So don't put anything that's you can't afford to lose. Your favorite water bottle does not go in this one. We can try, but we can't guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about medical support on the course. Is there anything else that we need to add for that?
I think you said it all. The Odyssey Medical's out there. They're out on the course as well as at the finish line. There's a York Region paramedic out there as well. There's two of them, in fact, that we've contracted just for the event. Course marshals, zone directors, lots of race event staff and volunteers out there if you need anything. You feel anything weird, not worth risking. Just say something to someone and ask for help. Don't be a tough runner. We like to push through everything, but some things we should not push through.
Yeah, exactly.
There's actually a video on our YouTube channel. So if you look on YouTube for Endurance Event Productions, there's a video by someone from South Lake Hospital, David Kiernan, that talks about cardiovascular events and runners. It's worth a look if you have a few minutes before race day to look for that video and spend a few minutes listening to what he has to say.
Yeah, good point. So when you finish, you'll come to the finish line. You'll take a moment, we'll be making sure that you're okay, walking you through and making sure that you're not in distress. Medical will be there watching as well. You'll pick up your medal, pick up a bottle of water, bottle of Gatorade. We've got bagels, we've got bananas, and then we've got some sponsors and vendors who are going to be in the tent area. We're kind of calling it the celebration area, where we've got a couple of vendors over there who have things to show you. Rally beer for dry run beer sampling. Dynamic Fence is going to be there with an ice cream cart to give out free freezies. So we've got a few things, hang around, recover, and enjoy the party at that point. Cheer on your other runners.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to say about the marathon turnaround, just being out there and watching people come in for their first loop, you actually need to cross the finish line and then head back out for the second loop. So if you've been to the event before, you know what I'm talking about. On Lake Drive, you have to make a right-hand turn into the finish line, cross that finish line, and then head back out for the second loop. Don't turn around early or you won't have a time, and you'll end up with the DNF unintentionally. It's a long way to run for a DNF.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have someone there at that turn, recognizing your bib and pointing you around it and making sure that you get that turn done properly, but just make sure that you're not going straight through and wondering what's happening, because that it
Mhm.
does turn into the park and back out again. Good,
Mhm.
good reminder.
Photography, we always have questions about, is there going to be someone there taking pictures? How do I get those pictures? The answer is yes. Mike Cheliak Photography will be there. Mike will be there with his team taking pictures, and those pictures will be free of charge to you. So we will get that link out to you as soon as possible, as soon as he has the pictures up and categorized by bib number. Usually takes a couple of days. We'll send that out to you and we'll post that on our social media pages and websites so that you can take a look at your race pictures and download them if you choose. Again, no charge for race pictures for you guys. And race souvenirs. At the expo, we'll be selling some Georgina Marathon and Half Marathon merchandise, specifically some hoodies. If you've been with us in the past, we've had awesome hoodies. We have those again, but we also have another type of hoodie, which is quite a bit lighter. I actually have some that I run in the winter when it's really cold. It's a different kind of fabric. Come over and check it out. We'll have Mars Quest sunglasses. We'll have Floki socks. And I'm sure we have some other stuff that my brain isn't thinking about right now.
Virgin Marathon socks.
We don't have
No,
those.
we don't. Okay, I lied.
We have some really cool looking Georgina Marathon stuff from last year from Surge, not dated.
Mhm.
So if you were here last year, saw that Surge stuff and wished that you bought some, we'll have some of that stuff, just
Yeah.
the leftover stuff from last year with us. And all that stuff again will be out on race day. So if you missed the expo and you want to get something that we have left, find the merchandise tent and you'll be able to purchase that on race day as well.
Yeah. Merchandise tent will be the same as where race kit pickup was. So once race kit pickup closes, it turns into the merch tent.
Yep.
Keep it that simple, right?
And once you're done the race and you've had a day or two to recover your brain, and at that point, you might think about doing it again on Sunday, September 29th. We have a new event that Sandy and I are doing for the first time this year in Oakville, Ontario. So, again, Sunday, September 29th. It's called the Nutrients Oakville 21.1. Has a half marathon, 10K and 5K. We'd love to have you guys join us there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you'll also see on our website already our Spring Georgiana race is already planned, and that's scheduled for Sunday, May 4th next year.
The spring fling. One
Mhm.
last word for spectators, because we hopefully people will be coming out and watching and cheering for you. So two things: we've got an area where run clubs can set up their tent and cheer for you if you want to bring out your group. That's in De La Salle Park, and there's one area that's been designated for the run clubs. You can get in touch with us if you want more information about that. But bring along the tent and cheer each other along. You're welcome to do so. And spectators can go to a couple of different places along the course if they want to leave the park and drive along Metro Road. So Willow Beach, Kennedy Road, and North Gwillimbury Park, which is almost at the far end of the turnaround, where we have a radio station playing music and a really lively cheering station out at that aid station there. But that park is a great one also for cheering on your runners. And that parking, we need to get confirmation. It might be free parking or paid parking. We're not sure yet, but there is parking at those parks and a lot of fun. The one at Kennedy Road, there's one grocery store there that sells ice cream and barbecued hot dogs, cash only. Um, so there is food available there, so you can go out and some great photo opportunities along at those parks as well.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a beautiful course. There's lots of great photo opportunities of the race, and there's also great places to hang out, which includes those parks that Sandy just mentioned. So hopefully there's, minimal raindrops and a little bit of sunshine. Bring your friends, your family, your kids. It's just a really nice place to hang out for the day, as well as a beautiful place to run. So
Yeah.
we look forward to seeing you all there this weekend. Sunday, September 8th, it came very quickly, bright and early in the morning. We hope we see you on Saturday at the expo, but we look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning, bright and early. And we hope that you have a great rest of your tapering week. Make sure that you're sleeping, you're eating well, you're hydrating well. Your training is done. Now it's all about recovery.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great next couple of days and see you all on Sunday.